Satnam Aloha. So from June 13th to June 18th, the sun is in the shadow of self-importance, the gift of discernment, and the city of purity. So this is the 22 to 29 degree Gemini. So it's the tail end of Gemini, which is the most potent. So the sole purpose here is to learn through our experiences. And the earth lesson is to overcome our minds, the restlessness of our mind, and not be controlled by our mind. So neutrino astrology gives you a map to our evolution as a species. So each range of degrees, like the 22 degree to 29 degree Gemini, that correlates to one of the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching. And each of those hexagrams has a shadow, a gift, and a city. So using this map as a transit map, we can see collectively and individually where this shadow pattern is at work, right? What we're integrating as part of our evolutionary process. Remember, we're evolving into a whole new species as humanity. And once you start to get more familiar with the system, it's really easy to see these shadows out in the world. It's kind of hilarious. You just see them everywhere. So quickly, what's a shadow? Well, the shadow is the part of us that we judge, make wrong, disown, repress, stuff it into our subconscious mind, and then we get projected onto others, right? Because it wants to surface to be healed, but we project it on others. We think we've got nothing to do with the shadow, and that it's that other person. We also inherit shadow patterns from our ancestors, and these are the most intense shadow patterns because they come with powerful emotions. That's also a signature of shadow, is emotion. There's an emotion. So how do you work with shadow? Well, you have to be centered in yourself and not being tossed around left and right by the shadow. And that means reacting to your emotions, reacting to the story that your mind is telling you, and absolutely taking no responsibility for your experience. That's the opposite of being centered, right? The next thing is self-awareness, and this is big. So this is being self-aware of what's going on inside you. Right? So instead of focusing on the other person that you're judging, become aware of your triggers, become aware of your thoughts, become aware of your emotional reactions. And then you keep that inside. And this low frequency energy will start to move. So it's really about allowing this movement to take place. And out of this process comes a gift. So every shadow has a gift. So awareness is really about catching it in action, right? These patterns in action. And this takes self-honesty. It takes that centeredness. And this means doing your daily sadhana practice. And this is a spiritual practice that brings you to your center, your divine center every morning, right? And if you're not in your center, then you are ruled by your mind, and you're ruled by the shadow, and you're ruled by the external. Right? So this is just a practice. It's called practice for a reason, right? Because it doesn't end there. It just gives you a chance. And then you go out in the world, right? And then you're able to stay in your center. And so the shadow's purpose is to bring you out of your center, right? That's if you're using it incorrectly. And then as you do more and more shadow work, you become more and more in your center. And because you're watching this channel, maybe even watching it for a while, you're actually intending for these shadow patterns to surface in a conscious way. So this is the most important work you can do right now to liberate yourself, as well as inner child work. Because thousands of years our planet has been ruled by shadow and unintegrated inner child trauma. So how your awareness works really depends upon your own chart. And this is what my recorded readings are about. And I just want to stress to people, these are not your typical astrology readings, right? This is all about advanced human design knowledge. So it's about your awareness and how your awareness works. This is what we all want. We want to be aware beings. It's your natural intelligence and what that needs. So working with shadow, the most important advice I can give you is to restrain yourself. Don't react to your emotions. Don't react to the story that your mind is telling you. Take responsibility for your experience and keep it inside, which is uncomfortable. And these shadows will start to transmute and bring more and more of your divine self into physical form. So that's all you got to remember, is every shadow has a gift. So this week we've got self-importance, we got discernment, and we got the city of purity. So Don Juan says to Carlos Castaneda, self-importance is man's greatest enemy. Well, I would go even further. Self-importance is the greatest enemy to our awakening. So this is overvaluing oneself, an exaggerated sense of one's importance. Right? Self-importance is wanting to feel special, wanting to feel better than other people. So let's go deeper with this shadow in relation to your spiritual journey. So self-importance is when a person creates an identity out of their human experience. So they create a self-concept, and then they feel the need to defend it whenever it's challenged by others. Okay, so people who are offended, this is the big word of self-importance. I'm offended. This is self-importance. And most people spend their entire lives feeling offended by what other people say and do. So let's look at an example. A woman, her self-concept is, I'm the best mother, right? So she's inviting other kids in her neighborhood to come play, right? Come to the child's birthday party, and the kid's about 3 years old, so really young. Another one of the mothers asked, great, that's great. What kind of refreshments are you serving to the children? Well, the host mother, right, with the self-importance, reacts right away and says, it's all organic food. Don't you know I only feed my child healthy food? And basically she's communicating, I'm offended by your questions because you're challenging my self-concept, my self-importance, right? Whereas the other woman could have just wanted to know the ingredients because her child is allergic to celery. And the child can't speak for, herself. She's only 3 years old. So do you see how self-importance works? The person who's offended turns the conversation, what's said, all about themselves. It's always turned back to the self-importance. And it's really trying to control someone else's opinion of you, which is a fool's game. That's impossible. You can't control another person's experience of you or their perception of you. So self-importance can even be manifested another way. Say you don't remember meeting someone, right? You don't remember meeting someone, and you can see like, oh, I'm not important enough to be memorable. That too is self-importance. I'm not memorable enough for anyone to remember who I am. In self-importance, questions or reactions usually begin with like, how dare you? I thought you knew me. I can't believe you would do this to me. Right? I can't believe you would think of me like that. Shame on you. Don't you know who I am? Right? I guess I'm not important enough for others to treat me with respect. So self-importance is defensive and it's guarded. It's about guarding the heart, shutting down your heart. And self-importance, this is all about our self-concept that was formed in our childhood. So self-importance, why it's a danger on the path to awakening? Because it's the last to go on our spiritual journey, the self-importance. It's the last layer that we must confront. So self-importance is the part of our human experience that you've attached to. So it could be a healer, right? Attached to being a healer, a teacher, a mother, a man, a woman, a race, a particular race, particular culture, particular sexual orientation, where these are all just experiences. Do you see? And self-importance is creating an identity about them. I talked a little bit more about this too in my last video if you want to Rewatch that. So how will you know where you're self-important, where the shadow is? Well, people are going to show you. Well, they'll show you. Where you feel compelled to defend and react. Where you feel offended. I feel offended by what that person did or said to me. Right? This is where it's going to show you where you have to let go. Right? Where the self-importance is for you. So remember that you're an eternal soul, an energy being here on planet Earth. It's not your permanent home, and you're just having human experiences in this lifetime. You're a pure being. That's the city, purity. And you see how wasteful in terms of energy it is for an eternal soul to be defending themselves as, oh, I'm a great mom. The mother part is such a small part of that eternal soul's experience. Imagine those 84 million lifetimes. That's just one small part of your experience in this incarnation. So it's very wasteful. It leaks your energy. Self-importance leaks your energy. You spend that energy defending yourself, and this steals your radiance from your aura. It weakens you. So self-importance is really the fear of being vulnerable and living from your heart, right? It's about being authentic. And this is what self-importance fears. Self-importance is the fear of looking weak and powerless in other people's eyes. It's the fear of being ordinary, just plain old Jane to others, right? The shadow wants you to feel special. It uses the language I, me, and myself. And it keeps you isolated and separated from your fellow humankind. So when you're in the shadow of self-importance, you can easily be controlled and manipulated by outside forces. Right? Did you hear what she said about you? Right? Or that group over there is saying something derogatory about your group. Divide and rule. Classic. Divide and rule uses this shadow of self-importance to keep us feeling offended by one another and fighting with one another. You see this all over, right, on the internet. Everybody's offended by everybody else. So anyone in your life that you feel offended by, these people are gifts. They're gifts. The angels in disguise, because they're showing you where you need to let go. They're showing you where you're self-important. They're showing you where you need to detach from that human experience and remembering that you're more. I'm an eternal being. I'm nothing. I have nothing to defend. Right? This is the gate of caution. The 12th gate is the gate of caution, which is one of the 3 stop codons, which is saying stop and wait. So when you feel offended, instead of reacting, say to yourself, I am nothing and I have nothing to defend. I am nothing and I have nothing to defend. The ego is going to hate that. What do you mean you're nothing? Right? But let the ego put up a stink and a tantrum. You stay in your center. I'm nothing. I have nothing to defend. And this expands your radiance because you're not wasting your energy anymore. You see? So self-importance and discernment and purity. So the gift of discernment comes from self-awareness. And this is the thought, knowing the thought that's aligned with higher frequency, and knowing when a thought is aligned with lower frequency fear. Is this coming from actual self-love, or is it coming from self-importance? So this is the gift when you see the dynamic of self-importance in your life, is where am I in self-pity? Where am I feeling sorry for myself? This is also self-importance. Are you pretending to be someone that's worthy of respect? Right? We can't take ourselves too seriously. Self-important people are always serious. And fortunately for us on the spiritual path to awakening, life doesn't let us stay in self-importance too long. Have you noticed this? I remember hearing a great story by the director of My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Remember that? It was her first movie, and it did really, really well in the box office. Right? She's getting tons of press. She's the media darling for a couple of months. While she's out and about, And she sees an old friend from high school. So she starts puffing herself up, right? I'm going to tell her how great I am now. So she's telling her friend about how well her movie's doing, and she's gotten an award, and right, and she met this celebrity at that party and this celebrity here. She's fully in the shadow of self-importance. So while she's bragging to her friend, a bird flies overhead, right, and poops right on her head, right? So lucky the director had a sense of humor, and she got the message, and she started laughing. So life will bring us a humbling experience, right? So we can let go of this self-importance that's holding us back on our spiritual path to awakening. So on the spiritual path, we really have to be on the lookout for self-importance. And this is where we can judge others as less than or less evolved, right? They're more evolved, they're less evolved. So it's really important to be continually giving credit to God. Don't let the ego take credit for anything, right? Continually be giving that credit to God, to the divine. So it's the city of purity, and each hexagram has an animal attached to it. So the highest gift here is purity, and the animal that's connected is the wolf. Very powerful animal. So self-importance is about defending a ghost, the illusion of who you think you are. Self-importance has you building walls around your heart, and also has you believe that someone can hurt you, right? So purity is about protection. It's not about defending. That's self-importance. It's about protection. It's the purity of your own heart that will protect you. So wolf is the protector, symbolizes protector. And some other keynotes here are aloneness, right? So the wolf can walk alone and be self-sovereign within the community because it travels in a pack, but it also can be alone. And it's also connected to confidence, right? So the wolf holds its ground, is very confident, and will hold its ground if need be. And its last resort is to fight. The wolf's last resort is to fight. It has self-control. It won't jump into a fight. It's got that gift of restraint, right? It's intuitive. It's connected to the moon. So this is our God-given tool, right? Is to protect ourselves as humans. We've been given intuition. So it helps to strengthen our intuition. Now, if you're always on guard and you're not in your center, then you're disconnected from your intuition, your God-given intuition. The wolf can be fierce, right? Has great strength, and it has that discernment. So it knows when to fight and when it needs to just stand its ground or when it needs to leave. So we've got 84 million lifetimes before we get to this one that we're in right now. So all of us have had lifetimes in the mineral, the vegetable, and the animal kingdom, which means that we can tap into past lives that we spent as a wolf. So if you're feeling unprotected right now, and I get it, right? The world can seem like a scary place, especially what the media is throwing at us. All the fear propaganda is, it can be, a dangerous thing according to your ego, is to open up your heart. But what in truth, that's your only protection. It's that open heart and your intuition. So if you're feeling unprotected, call on the energy of the wolf. So you can imagine a wolf walking with you, right? How would your posture change if you had a wolf walking beside you, like for real? How would your behavior change? What about what you would talk about? What would you say? You'd probably speak the truth if you knew you were going to be protected, right? Would you be willing to be in your heart if you knew that a ferocious wolf was walking beside you wherever you went? Right? So your inner child will love this experiment. So try that this week. Okay, I'm going to be walking with a wolf. I'm just going to pretend that I'm walking with a wolf. And then see what happens in your life, how people treat you. how you treat others. And your intuition may open up as well, right? As your confidence, right? This is to confidence comes from the root word confide. It's confiding in the divine, trusting in the divine. So Wolf teaches us that we have everything inside of us. We have all the resources we need to handle life. And the wolf holds the frequency of purity. And this is the same frequency that you hold in your own heart, which has nothing to do with your human experiences, right? In fact, our lesson is to hold on to that pure heart we were born with throughout our human experience. So the wolf is also known for its howl, right? That's how it finds its pack, right? So when you're speaking authentically, you're sending out a frequency that's going to draw in your soul tribe. Right? The 12 is also about the voice. It rules the voice. So it's the purity of our voice to move others. So when our larynx dropped 85,000 years ago, we were able to speak to one another. Right? We were able to communicate our thoughts and emotions. So it's also part of this channel of openness. And Adele, the singer Adele, has it. And she's got incredible emotional power to stir another person. I remember when I first heard her sing, it's like, I bet she's got that channel. And sure enough, she does. That's why people love her, because they feel something. So the gift of purity allows you to speak your words from your heart. So unscripted, unprepared, it's a powerful gift. And the heart actually has the intelligence to organize the right words for you and that other person listening. So letting go of the outcome of your message from the heart, right? So as long as you know, you can discern, you know what, I spoke from my heart in that moment, you can let it go. You let go of the attachment, and then that other person will just have their experience of these words. You see? Okay, so let's go to how this is going to affect you personally. And we'll go to your rising sun and moon sign. And if you don't have that information, then you can click a link below to get your free chart, okay, Aries.com or Astro.com. So we're on Aries, okay, Aries rising moon or sun. And so this can be a fear of opening your heart and being vulnerable with your siblings. Right? Maybe your siblings are showing self-importance, getting defensive, right? On your brother or sister. Of course, I have your best interests in mind. Or maybe you're getting defensive and self-important with your sibling, right? Always on your guard, not willing to open your heart, right? And really be vulnerable with your siblings. Right, so you can also experience the shadow of self-importance with your neighbors, or the car you drive, getting all self-important about your car, or the work team you belong to. So this is the time to bring in the wolf and speak from the purity of your heart. Right, that's the third house. It's communication. So this is honest, authentic communication that's being called out of you this week. And so this block to authentic communication can go back to your early school education. All it takes is some self-important teacher that shut you down from speaking because you sounded too smart to them, right? So these are the kinds of things that you can explore this week with this shadow pattern. Okay, let's go for Taurus, taking place in the second house. So this could be someone who's expressing their self-importance, right, to you, but it's affecting your sense of self-value. So maybe they took offense by something that you said or did, and then you took it on, right? They're right, I have no value to the world, I have no contribution to make, I'm charging too much money for my services. Well, this is in self-importance too. It's the flip side, right? It's making another's opinion more important than the divine's opinion of you. It's letting someone dictate your value. It's your job to determine your value. You and the divine together, not another person, right? So the second house is also the voice. So you have this opportunity to bring out the wolf and speak with confidence and an open heart, and then detach, right, from the outcome. So this wound of self-importance could also be connected to your family of origin, right? Who did you have to walk on eggshells around because you couldn't trigger that person's self-importance coming at you, right? So you can see how this shadow can block you from honest, authentic communication for fear of the backlash of the shadow. So these are some areas you can explore this week while we're in this pattern, Taurus. Let's go for Gemini. And Gemini is taking place in your first house. So others may see you as self-important. And it could be a projection by others. You may be seen as arrogant and full of yourself. And then you're busy trying to prove that you're not arrogant by the way that you speak, which isn't authentic, right? If it's not authentic, because it's got a hidden agenda behind it. This is its self-importance too, trying to control someone else's opinion of you. So you may have self-importance when it comes to your body and your appearance, like overly identified with your physical body, which is an aspect of your human experience. It's not who you are. So this is the time to bring in the wolf and drop any psychological masks that you're wearing and communicate with an open heart. And then start to see what happens in the world, because this is about how you show up in the world, Gemini. Okay, Cancer in the 12th house, there could be some self-importance that comes through your ancestors or your past lives. So this could be a deeply karmic pattern that you're clearing for your ancestral line. Right? So it could also be self-importance is also the fear of someone taking away your freedom, the belief that someone can take away my freedom. So this could be like past lives locked in a prison or an insane asylum. Maybe you reveal things to someone in a past life and you were betrayed and you were punished, you were put away from society. So, right, you could have been like a gifted healer or medium. You're able to communicate to souls that have passed on, right, beyond the veil. And there's your husband in that lifetime, and out of his own self-importance, commits you to an insane asylum because it looks bad on him, right? I got this crazy wife, right? So I'm going to put her in an insane asylum so I look good, right? So this can bring up a lot of fear and terror when you want to speak honestly to people about what you see and what you feel. So I would suggest bring in that wolf and just start, writing about it. Bring out your journal, bring out your sketchbook, right? Just explore it. Maybe go into some past life regression to uncover the secrets there, right? Because it's blocking this is the 12th, right? The 12th gate, your voice, your authentic voice that's connected to your heart. Okay, if you're Leo, rising sun or moon, there could be self-importance coming through your friendships or the network that you belong to, network of friends or a group, a social group you belong to, or the internet, because the 11th house rules the internet. So other people could, friends could be offended by something that you said, and then they project it on you. Right? I don't remember meeting you. Did we meet? Yes, I was at that party. Well, I'm offended that you didn't remember me. You're a bad person. Where you're just being honest, right? No, I don't remember you. What, am I going to lie and say I remember you? No, that's not good. That you'll incur karma when you lie like that, right? To help someone avoid their lessons around self-importance. So it's really important for you to remember that you have absolutely no control over someone else's experience of you, right? And often the divine will use us, and we end up being a trigger to assist that person in their healing. I don't know how many times God has used me, because I remember, why did I say that? Or someone would contact me, a month later, and you said something to me and it really hurt my feelings, and I was so angry, but I worked through it and I realized it was really about this, and I want to thank you. And meanwhile, you're like, I don't remember saying any of that, right? So just to remember that we have no control. And then watch yourself, right? Be self-aware if there's any self-importance coming up about being a good friend. I'm a good friend, and why can't they be a good friend like me? I can't believe that person who calls themselves a friend would treat me like that. I can't believe my internet followers would speak to me that way. Right? So be on the lookout for any messengers showing you where you need to root out the self-importance. Right? And if you feel triggered, bring out the wolf to remind you that you're protected. Like nobody can hurt you. And, right? Just continue to make that commitment to be in your heart, to speak from your heart with your friends and your followers. Right? 11th house. So let's go Virgo. Virgo's in the 10th house. So there could be self-importance coming through your boss or your father or someone in your life that's very father-like, like an authoritarian. And they may be offended by you, right? Or you may be offended by them. I'm a good employee. I can't believe they're questioning my loyalty to this company or questioning my loyalty to this person. I'm a good, fair employer. You yourself may have some self-importance connected to your career or your standing in the community. Self-importance may be about protecting your reputation. I can't speak from my heart, right? I'll look like an idiot, a blithering idiot. I must have all those highfalutin words to sound more important than other people, right? So you may have self-importance around duty and responsibility. So these are the things you want to let go of so that you can become more authentic in the way you express yourself. Okay, if you're Libra, Sun, Rising, Moon, there could be self-importance around your belief system. Right? My belief system is the only one that matters. It's the only one that's true. Or it could be around your self-importance around your relationship to your spirituality or to your higher education. Of course I went to this university and not that low-life community college. Can't you tell I'm educated? Right? Could have to do with something that you've published. Right? Well, I've got this book. Of course I'm a writer. Don't you know that? Right? So you have to really be on the lookout for spiritual ego here. Right, Libra? And just to remind yourself is because that ego wants to get in and take credit for any achievements. Right? It's me. I did it. Right? It's not true. So it's to remind yourself, I am nothing and I have nothing to defend. Right? Because this shadow can really pull you away from your optimism too. Right? So you want to optimism will come when you reveal this gift of discernment and purity, right? So don't get hung up on your education or your relationship to spirituality or I'm a know-it-all kind of thing. It's like, no, I'm nothing. I have nothing to defend. It's going to free you, liberate you. Okay, let's go for Scorpio in the 8th house. And this could be around self-importance around being a healer or a psychologist, self-importance around an inheritance, right? I'm the daughter that looked after my mother, so I deserve more of her money, right? Fighting with your siblings about an inheritance. There could be self-importance about a loan or your partner's money. Of course I deserve this because I'm responsible with money. Right? I stuck by my partner for this long, so I deserve this money. Right? So this shadow can be blocking also a subconscious memory that wants to surface. Right? It could be some kind of trauma that wants to surface. You have the self-concept of I'm stable and I'm mentally healthy. Fearing that wound or trauma would shake up your self-concept. So the fear of the unknown too. The 8th house is really dark. right? So you can explore these areas, Scorpio, and bring that wolf in to help you, right? So if you're Sagittarius, rising sun or moon, it's in the 7th house, and this is self-importance about your marriage or anyone else you have a contract with. So it could even be clients that you work with or a business partner. You know, I'm the perfect business partner. I'm the perfect wife or husband. I can't believe my partner would say that about me. Right? Or not speaking authentically with your partner or spouse. You're guarded. You're locking them out for fear of being hurt. Right? Building a big wall around your heart. And not being vulnerable, not being honest. So remember, this shadow is also about the fear of losing your freedom. So this is where we can project that onto another person, right? We can project our own self-importance onto another person. So be self-aware of what's going on with your thoughts, your emotions, right? Don't get caught up in the story in your mind and just keep it inside, right? And then integrate into the gifts, and this opens up your heart to your relationships. And remembering nobody can hurt you when you're in your heart and you're centered. Okay, so Capricorn in the 6th house, rising sun, moon. This could be around your work, self-importance around your work. So this could be projecting your self-importance, right? You have this concept of I'm a hard worker and I'm perfect. And you project that onto someone else. So if they don't work hard or their work isn't up to my standards, then they don't deserve my respect. When it's just you, right? It's your self-importance. The self-importance is that I'm perfect and that other person doesn't match up to me. So self-importance is about being better than someone else. It's being separate from someone else. This is the illusion, right, that clings to you as you awaken. The self-importance can be about health. I know the right way to eat. I'm healthy. I work out, right? I'm a hard worker. I'm healthy and fit. So do you see how this projection of your shadow actually keeps that alive in yourself? So bring out the wolf and get the wolf eating, right? Eating up the shadow of self-importance. Because you're much more than what you do, right? You're loved and valued for your beingness, not for what you're doing, right? So this shadow work's all about bringing yourself back into the truth, right? Back into the capital T truth. So Aquarius in the 5th house, there could be self-importance about your creative work. I'm an artist. I'm a playwright. I'm a singer. I'm a dancer. I'm not a garbage collector. I live for my art. Right? So self-importance can come through your children too, or a piece of art, or things that you enjoy. Could be like you're a wine connoisseur, or you're a drama critic, or a music critic. Right? Where in these areas do you identify with? Right? What areas do you identify here with? In the 5th house, and others in your life will give you clues too to where you need to let go of your attachments. Okay, it's not who you are. You're much greater than these little things of minutia in your life. Okay, lastly is Pisces, rising sun, moon, and that's in the 4th house. So this could be around being a mother, self-importance about being a good mother, or having self-importance of having a good mother, right? It could be about how you take care of yourself, right? Of course I take care of myself. I would never eat M&Ms. M&Ms would never pass these lips, right? Don't you know who I am? And it's also could be about how well you take care of your home. Right? So it also rules the emotions. So it can bring up fear of being hurt by your own mother or someone in your life that reminds you of your mother. Right? I can't speak from my heart again, else I'll get hurt like I did when I was a small child. Okay? So just look in those areas, home, mother, emotions, your internal emotional self, okay, your family of origin. Look in those areas and dig out this self-importance. So thank you to everyone who commented last video and let me know that you enjoyed this format. So that's why I did another one. And it really helps us to do our shadow work, right? So write in your comments below any thoughts or insights, anything you want to share. Just put those in the comment box. And you can follow me on Instagram. I've got a Facebook group, and I'm actually on my Facebook page again, Neutrino Astrology. I'm in Telegram in Bitchute. But better yet, sign up for my free newsletter, and that way we can stay in contact. I only send it out once a week. And there's still $100 off my Inner Child program, okay? And recorded readings. And so this helps you to know how you're designed to make your decisions in life according to your aura type, and also about what you need to nurture your body and your brain and your mind to bring more and more awareness in. So this is advanced knowledge. It's not your typical, I've got Mars and, in Taurus in the 10th house. It's like, no, it's human design. It's all about evolution, okay? It's not about feeding yourself importance. So it's 1.5 hours of information unique to you, and really tune in to yourself. It's like, okay, I'm ready to receive this information or not, right? So I'll see you in the next video, and have a great day or evening wherever you are, and take good care. Sat Nam Aloha.